All right, look. Um, I got a battery in there that's just about gone from lack of charging. And I've got an indicator on there that says I got 1 hour. Since when do I have 1 hour on this little camera? I don't know. Anyway, sunglasses. Now, I put sunglasses on. Ain't I a different person? I look utterly different, don't I? Take them off. Oh, I'm somebody else. Sunglasses basically defeats visual surveillance. Wearing a pair of sunglasses, you're protected from visual surveillance. Period. And they can't detect your face with 95% accuracy without looking at the eyes, so to speak. It's computer algorithms that churn away the processors in the computer, doing their calculations, making their comparisons and so on at 80,000 miles a second or so, 180,000 miles a second, which is the speed of light, which, they don't get up to, but they get close. Anyway, I bought a pipe recently, and so now I have the sense of liberation, because in this pipe is either tobacco or a combination of tobacco and marijuana. Marijuana, which in somewhat less than 1/3 of the states now is still illegal, but in somewhat over 1/3 of the states is legal. So what is the Justice Department going to do about all these rebellious states overturning the federal law concerning marijuana? Well, they can't do a bloody fucking thing, because the Republicans insist upon state rights, and states have overturned the federal law, essentially. And they can't do anything. They know that. Despite all their puritanical, devotees, all their evangelical devotees who praise God and, assail the sinner, and in their own lives, they don't even look at their own lives. They're non-self-reflective, gossip-mongering. Well, I won't say it. Anyway. So this is my garage domain. And you can see that painting is still there. And in front of it, the little spider, the infliction of the little spider is still there. He can spin, he can weave, he can do about anything. Collide, whatnot. Just a mobile with 4 legs and kind of an inverted head, hanging upside down, ready to strike at any moment. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? I've been binging on the Twilight Zone recently. The Twilight Zone, which I watched as a boy when I was, 10, 11 years old. The first time. And those shows, of course, as everyone who's even slightest been interested in ancient history knows that those shows were done in black and white, just like Alfred Hitchcock was done in black and white. Just like Diane Arbus's photographs was done in black and white. Black and white, well, even then, you still have plenty of ambiguity. Fuck, you never escape ambiguity, ever. And that is what makes life real, is because no one knows anything clear. Because we are all immersed in ambiguity. Even the judges, even the Supreme Court Justice of the United States is immersed in ambiguity because he's a human being, he's not a god. A god. And this is a pluralistic universe, is it not? We like to think so on this earth. A pluralistic universe with many, many different languages and many, many different cultures. But in the United States of America, we think, we should rule the world. Which is absurd. We do not rule the world. We're only one member in it. But the public within the United States, particularly the fucking right-wing nuts, do not think so. The fucking, right-wing nuts think that America should rule the world. As in, Pax Americana. P-A-X, peace in Latin, Americana. Well, no, thank you. That's neoliberalism at its finest and most theoretical. It is nonsense. What are these Harvard-educated men and women? Oh, well, what's her name? Barrett. She's on the Supreme Court now. She was educated at Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Oh, Madame, yeah. Oh, Madame Barrett, educated at Notre Dame, is now a Supreme Court Justice. Oh, and hopefully she has her own mind, and hopefully she has, somehow, extricated herself from Scalia's mind. Perhaps. God, I hope. And I only use the word God as an interjection. I don't believe in God. God is, it's a word. Nothing more. It's a 3-letter word to me. I don't believe in the biblical narrative. I mean, they're interesting stories, but nothing else to me. Just as the narrative in the Quran, although, more subjective, is still merely a narrative and nothing more. Although, for saying that, I might be killed by some of the more defiant acolytes of the Quran and Allah. But I'm in the United States, fairly well protected. I don't care. I could give a flying fuck. I'm an atheist I was. I converted to agnosticism about a month ago. Meaning I don't know a fucking thing about it. To me, it's all basically claptrap and BS and bullshit. What really matters is how we behave on this earth. How we behave, and we behave abominably. Shit, we may as well be in hell. We are in hell. And it's self-inflicted, basically. This situation on this planet is self-inflicted, essentially. Because we have all these erroneous notions of, just because somebody's skin color is slightly, darker than your own, or somebody's eyeball is a little stranger than your own. They don't look like me. Therefore, they are a foreigner. Well, guess what? Caucasian going to China, he is the migrant. He is the foreigner. And and since China has 4 times as many people as the U.S., I think that counts for something. Fuck, you get to China, fuck, it's a lot different. different. There, fuck, you can wander around at night, which I did, and you don't have to worry about it being assaulted. You don't have to worry about being shot, because they don't allow guns in that country, for one thing. But when a homicidal maniac goes on a rampage, you know how he does it? It's not women, it's always men. He has a fucking meat cleaver. He goes out with a fucking meat cleaver and hatchets away at people. Like in the olden times, back in the Anglo-Saxon days, when we had to ward off the Britons from Britannia. I mean the Romans from Britannia. Back in the Anglo-Saxon times when, goddamn, those fucking Romans came in on us. Do you know what that meant? Well, they'd already suffered the invasion of the Vikings, and the Romans were nothing compared to the Vikings. The Romans were little shit asses compared to the Vikings. And we'd already dealt with the Vikings, and they slaughtered most of us and took away our women and so on. And we were suffering defeat for a good decade or two. But then, after a couple of generations, we came back, and the Vikings were, I don't know, I don't know what happened to them. They kind of dispersed, I guess, and who knows what. Anyway, they left us alone because we got more clever and we figured out ways to repel them, and we did. If they ever invaded again, and we never shall know, but we figured out ways to repel them, and we did, because they never came back. Probably invented the crossbow. Some fine little invention, the crossbow, and when those Vikings came on our land, we just fired at them and mowed them down with a fucking crossbow. And they were done, and they scattered like fucking coyotes. They got back in the fucking ships and they left, and they went back to Norway or Finland or wherever they came from. Fuck, good riddance. Of course, this is old times, and I'm only making conjectures, but that's what an amateur, I don't know, paleontologist does. I don't even know what you call this. I'm making conjectures about not even ancient times, prehistoric times. I mean, all you can go on is conjecture. There's no fossil evidence, there's no nothing. You just have to make conjectures. And the only way you can do that is based on the DNA strand, as they conclude it was now. And, 100 years from now, they might have other ideas. Science is always being refined. And sometimes even overturned. As was the case when Einstein figured out a formula that included and went beyond Newton. And so nothing ever stays exactly the same ever. Ever. There's always change. There's always change, and change is indeed about the only law there ever is that things are constantly changing. Anyway, I guess I'm run out. Play some music and relax.